Thank you all for coming out tonight to support TEDx Grand Forks and our open mic night speakers. We're so glad that you could come out tonight. My name is Becca and I'm one of the organizers for TEDx Grand Forks. For this evening, we hope you will get just a small taste of the TEDx spirit that we will be bringing to Grand Forks on February 7th. So I hope you're all excited about tickets, excited to look ahead towards that and to many more things in the future for TEDx Grand Forks. Our organizers for this event and for TEDx Grand Forks have literally spent hundreds of hours putting together such a great event to bring to Grand Forks. So I wanted to give them a little bit of love tonight. Our first one is Emily Berkman. She's the Executive Director of the Empire Arts Center, and she is also our timer for the evening. Greeted you while you came in, and she's a UND student in anthropology. And the other Hannah Mattern is an occupational therapy student at UND, and she's up here in the orange. And our TEDx Grand Forks license holder is Tyrone Grandstrand, and he was also out in the lobby and still out there right now. So, yeah. To give you a quick rundown for this evening, I will briefly introduce each presenter, just providing their name and the title of their talk. Each will then receive 2 minutes from the point when they start talking. Emily will be timing them. They might provide a teaser, maybe a summary of their proposed TED Talk, maybe a portion of it. So I don't know what to expect, you don't know what to expect, so we'll just cheer them on. Your ballots have the presenters listed in the order in which they will be appearing on the stage. Jared Schlenker, unfortunately, is unable to be here tonight, so he has been crossed off your ballots. After all the presenters are done, the organizers will collect your ballots, so if you'll just pass them all to the front, then we will go and count the totals. You are allowed to vote for up to 2. You want to just vote for 1 or none? It's up to you, up to 2. So during that 10-minute intermission, feel free to grab another drink, mingle, talk to the presenters, whatever you want to do. After the intermission, we will announce our speaker. They'll join us on stage. We'll congratulate them. And then the screen will go up and we will immediately sell tickets from the stage. So don't go out there if you want to buy tickets. Come up this way so people can continue to mingle, talk, meet our presenters in the lobby. We have a limited number of tickets available, so it'll be on a first-come, first-served basis. All right, for our first presenter, we have Peter Denton. We recorded Peter's talk earlier today because unfortunately he could not be here from Winnipeg. His talk is titled, Technology is in Your Head and Why That Matters.
Hello, Grand Forks. My name is Peter Denton, and I'm talking to you from downstream in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The challenge I have accepted is literally how to change the world one small choice at a time. To explain this, we need to look at the T in TED for technology. There have been lots of TED Talks on amazing examples of technology, but very few that consider what we actually mean by the word. So I want to challenge you with the idea that technology is in your head, not in your hands. Technology is a product of the choices we make. We make choices for reasons, and those reasons reflect our values, what we think is important. Our world is in a mess because too few people recognize the choices they are making. We choose without thinking or without thinking enough hundreds of times every day. Add to this the fact we are often making choices about a technology we don't understand, and it's no surprise the mess keeps getting bigger. A sustainable future is possible, but only if we change the game back into one that we can win. We need to think about the story that we are writing today, the story we are telling our children about what the future could be. We need to reimagine our world. To do this, we have to go way back in time, to the very beginning of technology, and to the story of Grok and the Rock. I hope to tell you the story in February. Thank you for your consideration. Enjoy the evening and have a safe trip home.
Our next speaker is Missy O, and her title is Powerful Beyond Measure.
Two children, and they're in the park, and they're flying their kites back and forth, and back and forth. And they're enjoying themselves so much that they forgot to hold on to the strings, and they slipped from their fingertips. A little while later, a couple walked up to them and they said, "Children, what are you doing?" And they said, "We're flying our kites." And they said, "Children, how do you know that they're there?" And they said, "Because we believe that they're there." The couple walked away, and they thought to themselves, how did I stop believing? When did I stop believing in myself? I speak to people from kindergarten all the way to people in the nursing homes. And when I go into kindergarten classrooms, I ask the children, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? I can't answer their hands fast enough. It's teacher, doctor, lawyer, UND hockey player. And by the time I get to fourth grade, and I ask children, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? They lower their heads. Because by fourth grade, they've been told enough times, who do you think you are? How is that going to work? Winston Churchill said, if I could have any quality, it would be courage, because with courage, I can obtain all others. In February, during Challenge Accepted, I'm going to show you 3 tools to help you foster courage and strength. I'm going to give you 5 questions to help you get there. And not only you, but your employees and your children. Embrace the pace that you set. Patience and courage will be rewarded with the victory of accomplishment. You are powerful beyond measure. Thank you.
Is Barry Striegel, Cowpreneurs, Lessons from a Pasture Classroom in Opportunity Recognition, Risk, and Reward.
Good evening. If you have a minute of your time, I'd appreciate it. The title of my talk is Cowpreneurs, and I was talking to people here in the audience earlier. Entrepreneur to me is one of the most sacred words in the English language, and I really hated to mess with it, by adding cow to it in a humorous way. But I figured it would get your attention. My talk in February won't be Western humor. It won't be hipster kind of tragic irony. I want to talk to you about what I've learned by watching cattle. I teach. I'm director of the North Dakota Youth Entrepreneurship Education Program. In 2007, I started with one summer camp at the Center for Innovation, and this summer I'll have 10 week-long events around North Dakota introducing 9 to 13-year-olds about the risks and rewards of starting their own business, of doing their own thing. One of the things that got me started on this was when I was a kid going around the field doing summer follow, watching our cattle. I watched cows teach their calves how to go under fences. Now, being a kid who had to fix those fences, it kind of had a personal impact on me. Until I realized that fence is a mental construct. No strand of wire and a few posts is going to keep a hungry 1,000-pound cow from sensing and going towards that opportunity on the other side, the greener grass on the other side. That fence is a perception. Perceiving is believing. Most cows and most calves won't cross that fence. Some, when they're taught, will. Now, what can we do with kids in this regard? Most of our classrooms are designed with fences around them. Most kids grow up with this perception around that they cannot do. I found they can. But here, and I know you're all going to be with me on that one, but here's the bigger point. Is that it?
Our next presenter is Tamara Gellin, and her title is Stretching the Spandex, Redefining Superwoman.
Hello, my name is Tamara Galen. I'm a sought-after speaker, a published author, a therapist, the program director of a well-established co-occurring program for adolescents, a grad school professor, a wife, and a mother to multiple children. And by the way, I happen to be chubby, plump, pleasantly plump, well-rounded, and yes, folks, even the F word, fat. I cannot tell you the number of times I've heard comments such as, you know, larger people, they just don't make as much money. They're not as successful. Or, oh, it would be so nice if you could lose a little bit of weight because you'd be probably a lot more popular and so much easier to market. And the unbelievable, you know, I can see how talented you are. I can see how intelligent you are. But a good therapist, well, they project a certain image. And at your size, you just don't. I can't imagine how you could possibly ever be a good therapist. Comments such as these have been labeled as fat shaming by the media as of late, and they've been gaining more attention. However, this phenomenon is hardly new. And while the concepts of beauty and success have been long linked in the feminine culture, this goes far beyond the feminine, because gentlemen, this is an increasing issue for you as well. I hope that we can take some time and consider this challenge accepted, and by looking at 12 truths, we can start to reframe our own personal viewpoints on this, that we can start reframing the concepts for society, and that together we can dispel the myth that somehow size, age, beauty lend themselves to one's capability or worthwhileness. That we can take a look at our own views, and that we can start looking and living and learning from others, and that we live and learn and judge not just by size and stereotypes, but on the concepts of on character and content. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Jill Victor. Feel the fear and run.
What if the way to conquering all of your fears were to run from them? What if learning to ignore what science and society tells us about panic and anxiety disorder was part of the very key to eliminating its effect? What if one day we said, no, it's not okay. I'm not going to relax, take a pill, and ignore it. No more. No more being a victim. No more accepting black, hopeless fear as a reality. And what would you say if a person found a way to never endure a panic attack again? And what if all she had to do was lace up her shoes one day and step out the door? Every fiber of her being shaking with fear and her heart pounding like she was going to have a heart attack and tears streaming down her face because she just couldn't quit thinking, I can't do it because I'm so damn scared. And what if she just screamed because she couldn't tolerate the feelings anymore? And then she just ran away from it. That's me. I have been to the depths of panic and anxiety disorder and back again. And I need to share my stories for hundreds of lives or just one life. It matters. Ever since that day, I have charged forward and ran through every one of my fears. Run through 20 half marathons and 2 full marathons. Ran through my fear of failure, ran through my fear of success, even running through my fear of public speaking right here on this stage. And by running, I overcame them. People like me with this disorder are intelligent, hardworking, and creative. But we're sensitive too, and that's why it can get so bad for us sometimes, trapping us in our homes, our fears, and our minds. We need to change what we think about panic and anxiety disorder. Everyone needs to know it's okay. Run through the fear. Turn your back on the acceptance of fear. Eliminate the fear and live.
Next, we have Dr. Sheila Swenson on raising a healthy kid.
home, I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old on Monday. And these children of mine, they're extremely healthy. And when I'm out talking about my kids and the fact that they've never had an antibiotic or they've never had an ear infection, I always get told, wow, you are so lucky your kids are healthy. But the thing is, it's not luck. It's the fact that I understand what health is and that I raise my kids in a healthy way in spite of our modern model. And that's really what tonight is about. What my talk will be in February is to show you how to raise children in a healthy model so that way our children can grow up and be healthier than we are today. But in order for us to do that, we first have to understand what is health. Health is one of those words that kind of gets tossed around in so many different aspects, and it's kind of lost its definition and meaning. So if we define health, let's use the World Health Organization's definition. They state that health is a state of optimal physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So that means that even though I'm not in the hospital of cancer, or I don't have heart disease, and I don't have the flu, I still could not be healthy. Even though I look healthy and we could be slender, that doesn't mean that we're truly healthy. So if you look at that in our children's aspect, if we just take one little aspect of like the physical well-being, our children, the American child in the United States, will sit on average anywhere between 8 and 12 hours a day. That's including school, and they actually usually have about 4 hours a day in front of a computer, a TV screen, or in front of a tablet. So one of the biggest things we can do for our kids is get them up, get them moving. Turn off that TV, shut down the tablet, and things like that. Another thing that we can do is get them into sports. Let them play hockey or football or any of those kinds of things. Just get them out, get them active, and do some of those things. I would love to share a lot more information for even the #1 thing you can do for your kids.
Our next presenter is Lorenzo Cerna, and he is talking about the dream that was Occupy Wall Street.
So I actually changed the name to Why Occupy Wall Street. And when I say that, I say why Occupy Wall Street, I don't mean like why was that location chosen. What I mean is why was a leaderless, horizontal movement with no goals started? How does that happen? And I realized that the only way I can tell you that story is to bring it back to Grand Forks, North Dakota, and organizing at the University of North Dakota in a group called the Students for Democratic Society, and that experience. And then taking you to St. Paul and trying to march for change and watching riot police unload with rubber bullets against my friends. Then going to Pittsburgh, and again, once again find myself in the streets when, the police used sound cannons against marchers and dropped tear gas into us and people ran, right? But all those events that happened in my life led me to New York City, where I found myself working to organize one of the biggest movements that the United States has seen for a while. And when I say working to organize, I landed in New York City July 19th, 2011, and from that day until September 17th, I worked at Occupy Wall Street every day. So every one of those decisions that was made, leaderless, horizontal, and no, demands, right? No demands. And we got hit by this. I got hit by this so many times, like, those are mistakes. But those decisions were made, and they were made in long conversations, and I advocated for all of them. And I want to tell you why. And I want to tell you why, based on the experience of organizing I had here at the University of North Dakota, to organizing in the Republican National Convention to literally shut it down, which didn't work out. But all of those were lessons that I carried with me to New York City, and where I met actually 3 people from Grand Forks, North Dakota, and ended up working every day to start that movement. And so, yeah, that's what I'd like to share with you in February. And I guess in the end, what I think Occupy Wall Street was really trying to do is to redefine what was possible and what is possible. And we are constantly constricted.
Our next presenter is Lauralee Tuka, Unexpected Journey. What if, when we looked up into a mirror to gaze at our face, we saw who we truly were? When we looked into our eyes, we saw fearlessness. A fearless
fearlessness that reminded us there's nothing that we cannot do and there's nothing holding us back. It would remind us of an unexpected challenge in our life, maybe a diagnosis or an unexpected life event. Or maybe you're like me, and it was when he forced himself onto you and into your life. Those eyes that you see in the mirror would remind you that you are a fearless warrior who looked at the unexpected challenge and said, I accept. What if when you looked into the mirror, you saw the motivation behind all of your achievements and said, I have accomplished all this and I will accomplish all of this too. When you gaze into the mirror, there would be a mark that's invisible, but yet it's really there from all of your hard work and sweat that you have put into creating new ideas, goals, and solutions. What if your smile reminded you of how you're striving for excellence, you've reached it, and you'll continue to reach it, moving the bar from average on up? What if when you look in the mirror, instead of looking at all of the cosmetic features and age marks, you looked at what your face really was? A fearless achiever creating excellence. My TEDx talk would be about the journey and how I have realized that no matter what your challenge is, you can face it because you are a fearless achiever creating excellence. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Patrick Casper, and his talk is entitled Positive Motion, Movement with a Message.
Give me one clap! Give me one clap! Give me two claps! Give me three claps! Give me four claps! Give me a woo woo! Give me a hey hey! Give me a TEDx! Is anyone here named Ted? That'd be so cool if we went TEDx. Something like that. Cool. Hey, how you doing? My name is Patrick Casper. I'm the creative presenter of Positive Motion, Movement with a Message. Positive Motion is a mind, body, fitness, team building program that I've been fortunate to teach all over the world for the past 15 years. It's my passion to inspire, encourage, and motivate people to get happy and healthier lives with positive motion. Positive motion is innovative, it's unique, it's creative, and it's also interactive, and hopefully if I do my job, it's entertaining. That's why we get you guys whooping and moving and grooving, because I always want people to be interactive when I'm doing my presentation. Now when I go out and I teach positive motion, I talk about 3 P's. I talk about passion, I talk about program, and I talk about purpose. I talk about how I got my passion as a chubby little kid in North Dakota, and I saw fitness and dance for the first time, and I got my passion to be excited and go out and share that with people. I talk about my program, how I had to go out and learn and take different fitness and dance classes so I could put my program together. And then the 3rd P, passion programs, is purpose. And the reason why we're here tonight, we're sharing our passion, we're sharing our program, and hopefully we're taking our purpose forward to share with others. Now we can't talk about positive motion without talking about the term tabula rasa. Let's all just say that together. Tabula rasa. Live it louder. Tabula rasa. Beautiful. Tabula rasa is a Latin term that means empty slate. We're all born with a tabula rasa, with an empty slate. So as we grow up, different things affect our tabula rasa, whether that be our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles, how we're treated in school, how we do fitness, if there's bullying and things like that. The great news is we have a new tabula rasa or empty slate each and every day, each and every hour, each and every minute. We have a way to fill our tabula rasa with energy and goodness. And hopefully I can share my passion, my program, and my purpose with you with positive motion to get it moving and grooving. Thank you very much.
I was just wondering if Karen is here. I have not had the opportunity to meet Karen. Is she here? All right, well if everybody then could fill out their ballots, up to 2 votes. And then go ahead and pass those to the center. And Hannah and Tyrone will be collecting those. And then we'll have a 10-15 minute intermission. Thank you.
What do you think I should ask? What do you think about where you're at? Well, I've been here a whole year. I mean, the program and
incredibly close, so we wanted to make sure we got it right. We are so excited about all of the presenters tonight, and we hope that you will all continue to be involved in TEDx because we hope to have many more events in the future. And so now we know we have a great group of people to choose from. So I'm super excited about that. It was so close that we have chosen 2. So I will announce one of them, and then I will also announce another. And David, just join me on stage, give a bow, and then we will continue onward with our evening. So our first presenter will be Barry Striegel. Presenter is Tamara Galen. Coming out tonight, it means a lot to the organizers, it means a lot to the presenters, even those that are still in our audience, and I hope you will join us in February, and we are going to begin selling tickets just as soon as we set up here, and we will take one line up the stairs. Thank you both. I look forward to working with you. Yes.